Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing fantastic. I'm very happy to be in this space with you today. It's going to be a great space. We have a lot of beautiful guests, and especially our main guest today is Zero Gravity or Zero G. And we have Jake with representing them. Jake, you are head of BD. I hope you are doing fantastic.
Yeah, guys, happy Tuesday here. Great to be joined and you know among such a great audience.
Same, same. Um, So we have a lot of wonderful people there today. Would love if you guys can give a short intro of yourself and maybe some of your latest news or about your project. You can take 1 or 2 minutes to answer. We have got plenty of time. Tomer, maybe do you want to jump in?
Yeah, sure, of course. Everyone, Tomer, investment director of ChainGPT Labs, and also CMO and CBDO of Kima Network, and also happy to be part of City.com, of course. Investor, entrepreneur in the digital realms for almost 25 years, and also an angel investor in the industry for many years now, since 2019 exclusively, in crypto since 2016, writing for Forbes and Cointelegraph about blockchain innovations, DeFi, RWA, Deepin, and everything around it, and looking forward to having fun with you guys. Let's go.
LFG, I see you are like quite the crypto G. It's always good to have here. And I come back to you a bit later in this space to ask you about your opinion about where the market is today in terms of sentiment, and have your your impression about how our project able to raise in this market, and what the future could be for us. So today, the space topic is about the evolution of data availability. So we had a lot of innovation in this space in the recent years, and Zero G, Zero Gravity is pushing even more innovation with the first decentralized AI operating system. But well, I think the best is to let the expert talk. I'm clearly no expert. I will play dumb because maybe I'm half dumb on the topic, but please don't say anyone. So Jake, could you please tell us a bit more about first yourself, what you do at Zero G, how you ended up in crypto, and then about Zero Gravity itself and its mission.
Thanks for teaming me up so nicely. So I guess to backtrack a little bit, I've been in the space for coming up on a decade, and that all started reading the Bitcoin white paper in my university dorm with some of my best friends. And then after that, we realized there was very limited educational resources, at least in our environment, to dive deeper. So we started the blockchain club, and that snowballed into a really powerful organization. And, after building out a lot of educational resources at my alma mater and writing the curriculum for the business school, I joined this space about 4 years ago, and I was working at Chainlink Labs and oversaw a bunch of product releases and a lot of value secured, and just had a tremendous time working kind of in the infrastructure space. And then could not deny the inevitable that AI was playing a very big role in our lives. So I wanted to contribute my time to kind of the intersection of both of these disruptive technologies. And so, after learning more about Zero G when we came out of stealth in March, after a phenomenal 35 mil pre-seed raise, I joined the team as the head of BD, and I've had the pleasure of pioneering this new technology and working alongside a lot of great ecosystem partners to build the future of decentralized AI, and ideally to make it a public good for all.
This is like, I love this kind of story where always starting in the dorm, it feels like the startup dream where you start in your garage, but it's just like looking at Bitcoin front in your dorm. This is this is really great. Could you tell us a bit more about Zero G itself, like what you guys are doing, how what are the use case you're looking to enable with your product, with your tech, all this kind of stuff? Just feel free to speak like to a 5 years old, like to make it super simple. because it's always nice sometimes to bring less technicality into the topics and to make something super easy to understand.
Absolutely. This is a exciting time to have this space because we've been on the conference tour internationally for the last couple of months, and I've been meeting with a lot of you folks. But just about a month ago, we reintroduced ourselves. Where Zero Gravity, it's transforming its identity from being recognized as the leading modular AI blockchain to embracing its broader capabilities as the world's first decentralized AI operating system. And we felt that was important because it reflects the full spectrum of the technologies that we've built. So, today's AI infrastructure, highly centralized, leading to issues around data ownership, transparency, monetization, and incentive alignment. So our shift clarifies Zero-G's key role in decentralizing AI and providing users complete control over their data alongside transparent decision-making and fair monetization. So an essential part entails coordinating these distributed hardware resources, such as storage, computation, and data availability. And this is all via blockchain technology. So by leveraging a modular system, Zero-G's scalable, transparent, and auditable AI infrastructure can integrate with any workflow and bring decentralized AI and all of its possibilities on-chain at last.
Yeah, I think this looks great because we really have, since a couple of years, maybe a lot of projects trying to get you back into control of your data. And because for so many years we were at like data is the new oil. Like you in the digital era, you cannot do anything without data. And there have been so many companies just taking our data and monetizing it for themselves. And like I think we tend to forget that our own data is valuable. And because just for the past 20 years, no one has been able to really monetize this data. So how do you plan to kind of change this? Because it's a true paradigm shift at the end of the day, where you cut the middleman. It's you owning your data who can monetize it. So I think I've got two questions. So how do you plan like to let people monetize their data, and what kind of data are you guys looking for?
It's a great question. So I think it's important to maybe start with what is a decentralized operating system, and then we can hop into the specifics about how we're approaching those. So, an OS, the critical piece of software that manages the computer's hardware and software, for example, Microsoft Windows, Linux, Mac OS, Android. Those are some of the operating systems that power a lot of the prominent technology companies in existence. Until recently, Web3 lacked comparable infrastructure. So Zero-G is the first decentralized AI OS managing decentralized hardware resources, such as storage, computation, and data availability, as we talked on earlier. And with this infrastructure, truly on-chain AI applications have finally become possible, allowing developers to address the limitations of centralized AI. And, these include the ownership, where centralized AI often sells or misuses personal data, with users having little control or ownership over how the information is collected, stored, or used. The next would be transparency and, of course, accountability, where you've got centralized AI operating as a black box with opaque decision-making processes and no clear data provenance. And users provide training data rarely receive adequate rewards for their contributions. And, this system lacks transparency in how value is distributed. And the last two are monetization and alignment. So on monetization, centralized AI monopolizes profits and leaves little incentive for those individual contributors. And when it comes to alignment, those systems lack oversight and governance processes, with a select group having all authority. So Zero-G addresses all the above, right? For instance, with Zero-G, users can store and manage data on chain via decentralized storage networks Meanwhile, there's a full data availability, allowing for verifiable and transparent AI models, and economic structures can be created that encourage fair monetization and proper goal alignment for all ecosystem participants. And that was only possible now as existing crypto AI infra lags significantly in terms of throughput, latency, cost, and, for example, zero G's throughput speed of 50 gigabyte per second per consensus layer makes it just about 50,000 times faster than some of the existing solutions at 100x lower costs. Meanwhile, zero G is also built in data storage system that makes this storage just around 1,000 times faster. So happy to dive into how this works, but that's just kind of the high level approach of the DAIOS that we have started to pioneer here.
Jake, and it's Mike from Galactica here. So, and can I ask you, so basically, as I understand it, in the AI models, you have the data, you have obviously the training, and you have the inference. So basically, when it comes to the training and inference, how does zero gravity address that? So basically, which part of each individual process can I kind of build on top of the distributed storage that zero gravity provides?
Phenomenal question. Thank you for that. So, because each component is modular, meaning it can flexibly adapt to any of these workflows, we're actually working on a serving framework right now, that sits on top of the storage, the DA, and then the consensus mechanism, where we can bring all these pieces of the puzzle together. So zero G serving is a framework that supports AI model inference, data retrieval, and training tasks, allowing real-time interaction with decentralized AI applications. So we're actually proactively having the conversations with complementary goods in the space to provide these services in a decentralized open marketplace where we're connecting the buyers and the sellers of these services through the connective tissue that is zero G's DAIOS, where they can benefit from the storage costs and the DA performance, and then really kind of build on top of those to serve their own value proposition in the space. So for example, we could be connecting DPIN hardware with fine tuning, with existing models, with inference, so on and so forth, just kind of acting as that middleware, that connective tissue that brings the whole ecosystem together. So, as the head of BD, if you guys and anyone on this space is building a complementary good, we want to make sure that we're having a bi-directional integration, allowing the zero G ecosystem to leverage what you build and really establishing that better together narratives in the decentralized AI space.
Super cool. So basically, for example, I had a cluster of some ASICs, which, for example, work much better for inference, something like Grok is doing, right? I could potentially connect that cluster to zero gravity so that zero gravity can leverage the compute while keeping the data on the zero gravity chain. Is that right?
Absolutely. We're trying to free up just latent devices because there's so many of them sitting around not being used. So not only will you be able to monetize and free up the existing latent devices, GPU and CPU, but you'll also be able to, of course, approach this decision-making process with the factual information, right? It'll have the certain specs, the uptime, the cost. And so as a rational builder, you'll be able to make these selections from a variety of different, providers, right? So it's like if you're going shopping in the grocery store, you want organic versus non-organic fruit, you have that decision to be made kind of in that marketplace, right? So whether that's private, preserving data, certain types of models that are fine-tuned for certain use cases, we're trying to bring those all together and make the user experience and UI very, beneficial for this decision-making process.
Super cool. So basically, I guess maybe just for some of the listeners to understand it better, I guess lots of people are already familiar with, for example, Celestia, right, and their approach to data availability and the whole narrative, which I think they have pretty much set up back in the days. So basically, when compared to Celestia, for example, could you maybe give just a couple of points how zero gravity is different, how it improves upon, apart from the massive throughput speed that you have highlighted?
That's a very, very great question. So I think, the fact that there are so many solutions out in the space, it's really cool to be able to see what the industry benchmarks are and, how we can improve on them. But it's been a while since DA was the talk of the town, right? You got Celestia, Eigen, DA, Avail, and we like to think we're bringing data 2.0 to the market. And so, just at a high level, you'd have to completely re-architect some of those systems that are out there to match the performance requirements and needs that we've been able to do so with regards to AI, right? We've got fundamentally different architectures. For example, in the Celestia and Avail case, they propagate data to all their nodes simultaneously. So, there's no aspect of horizontal scaling. So the slowest node in your network dictates network speeds. And they also don't have a fully formed storage network. So someone that's building AI apps has to then use another service and then cobble things together. So the technology architecture in itself is a huge advantage from that perspective. And then the other thing is that you don't give up Ethereum level security by working with 0G because we're attestable to Ethereum, which is something that you have to do in some other cases, or, in EigenDA's case, you're essentially having the restaking nodes choose to stake into you. And then there's a majority secure assumption as part of that. So, we just like to, absolutely, pride ourselves on the fact that we're bringing so many of these pieces to, the developer suite, just trying to act as that connective tissue and one-stop shop without, any performance bottlenecks or, security assumptions.
Super cool. Yeah, guys, for how much time are you building all of that? I mean, it kind of sounds so incredible.
One of the reasons why I was so excited about our team is, when I joined, so many of the product and engineering folks had great decorated backgrounds and very product heavy team. I mean, coming up on 50 product engineers, complete global coverage, and a lot of them have worked in the AI space or the Web3 space or both, and have had tremendous success. And when I say that this team ships, they ship, and they ship quick. So now we're just really trying to work with our ecosystem to fine tune the way that we can adopt our products to their use cases and beyond. So if you're working with 0G or building with 0G, whether you're in contact with us or not, just know that we are quick and nimble to implement user feedback, whether that's on our documentation, GitHub, or just overall product requests. And it's not going to take, 3-4 quarters or years like a lot of the larger players in the space who have to jump through a lot of hula hoops in order to make, quick decisions. So, we very much believe in measuring 3 times and cutting once in the space because security is paramount, but we definitely have the resources internally to build meaningful applications for the users.
Yeah. Toma, if you want to continue, please do. I'm pretty much done on my side.
I think it's great when two highly technical people can just speak together and explain and compare the product. Thank you, Mike, for the intervention. So just to be mindful of the time and to go on the second part of the topic, Jake, you announced that you are going to have a node sale quite soon. And just before jumping on that topic, I would like to ask you, Tomer, what's your opinion about it? You've got plenty of experience in the investment field. What would you say? How is the market looking these days? And I don't know, do you have any advice on how one should run a node sale these days? What are the main requirements to have a successful raise? Because I don't know about you, but I feel a bit of, so I'm seeing the market being green again, and I feel bullish, but also I've been a bit slammed for the last 2 or 3 years. So it's hard to be fully optimistic. So how does one do a successful raise in this market condition?
Well, it's a phenomenal question, and one that I definitely like to lean on, our co-founder and CEO, Michael Heinrich, for, because he's had such great success, raising in this space and, for the many years before. That said, I've been to pretty much all of the major conferences this year and, even over the past 4 or 5 years in the space. I mean, I've got hundreds of lanyards in my closet from, all the times in the Web3 space. And, my key takeaway, especially, being at Token, up and coming at DevCon, and more recently in the US at some of these conferences is, to follow the liquidity, follow the money. And you see there's a lot more transparency, maybe in the APAC regions than we do have in the Americas regions. And I think that we're at a tipping point now, especially with the upcoming election and certain types of legislations that are being proposed, to ideally have more clarity, to have kind of, global certainty around what's possible in this space. For the last year or so, it's just been so hard trying to innovate stateside. So you're actually seeing a lot more adoption kind of in these other regions. And so the hopium that I saw was definitely, overseas, and you can kind of see that with the presence at these conferences. I mean, I think Token had like 750 or 800 side events with, tens of millions of dollars of sponsorship, where some of the, larger stateside conferences have seen some attrition in the last year or so. So I'm definitely finding that there's a lot of building going on in, global regions. But I think with the whole approach to what we're building in this space, right? And this kind of touches on our upcoming node sale, but we want to bring, the full community in to bring, or to play a role in this journey, right? And so we do have disclaimers on the node sale website that, kind of highlight who can participate, kind of based on this, global landscape. But, just the TLDR there is, this node sale, it's a critical step in decentralizing AI infrastructure. And we created it especially for the community. And these nodes play a key role in ensuring that the AI systems in our network are secure and behave transparently and honestly, making AI more accountable with the help of the node holders. And we thought that this was just a great step to get the community involved in, our mission to make AI a public good.
Thanks for
So
the
maybe if you want to jump in.
Yeah. So thanks for the answer. And thanks for the question. Thanks for adding to it, Jake. So in terms of the markets, indeed, we see that the markets are kind of waking up. I don't want to say that, we're like all in the green and we're in the full-on bull, and wherever you put a stick in the ground, leaves would come out. We're definitely not in that market. We're still, considering a lot more before deploying cash. Me as an angel, also, the ChainGPT Labs is the investment arm, and the rest of the VCs that I see around me. You asked what projects need in order to raise money today, which is literally, the $1 million question, or in our industry, maybe it's a $1 billion question. I would always say what I say for years now is utility, usage, and strong community. Many of the projects that I see lately are just rushing to raise money with a token, even though there is no need for a token in their product. Maybe because it's hard to raise money in Web 2, maybe it's because they want to become rich quickly, but these are much more sophisticated money markets, than we've seen in previous years. The VCs have been through many battles. They've been through winters. They've been through bears. They can smell, bullshit from miles away, and they can find and realize that there's an unpolished diamond in front of them in milliseconds. So I would say what I always say: strong community, strong utility, and a dedicated team. Really, guys, there's not more to it. Now, in order to survive the markets and to actually be attractive to investors, you need to find the best balance point between investors' interests in order to be attractive to them in terms of valuation investing terms and the actual interest of the project. I see many projects who are amazing projects that are reaching TGE with horrible tokenomics that create just a huge drop the day they launch a token, because investors in this industry are basically, like we're half gamblers, most of us in this industry, to be very honest. And people see like a little red candle, they all rush to sell. They see a nice green candle, they either buy in or they hold. Many of this is due to the balance between the investors' vesting terms and the tokenomics. So I would say that create a strong one. Bear in mind that the money that you're taking today is basically money that you will be paying back if you will create wrong tokenomics once your token will launch. Of course, that is if you want to balance your token, you will be having to provide buying pressure against the expected selling pressure. Then it all needs to be well thought of, well planned, and as I said, real utility, strong community, dedicated team, and you're on the way there. Do not rush just to raise money because you cannot do it with traditional equity. Do not rush to raise money if you're just planning, to make a quick flip and a quick buck with a nice pitch deck and a nice story, because investors can smell this from miles away nowadays. Might have worked in the GameFi boom when no one actually cared, and threw money on everything that had a 3D video. But the VCs and the investors today are much more complicated, sophisticated, and educated. Then come with a strong idea, strong utility, community, build some real traction, meaning put your money where your mouth is. Traction can be with strong community around you, with a strong technological product behind you, or strong partnerships that you're bringing with you. Can be names like famous names from the industry that are backing you and already know who you are and giving you the credibility and the rubber stamp behind you. And it can be an amazing MVP that you will have in a demo that will basically drop jaws when people will see what your technology can make, that will bring you the money. But whatever it may be, put your money where your mouth is. Your money can be your time, guys. It doesn't need to be cash, but investors want to see that you're coming with something to the table and you're not waiting for them to pay you for a salary to build something that you might have thought of that is going to be nice and cool because you worked with ChatGPT over a night for a nice pitch deck and an executive summary, and a Fiverr dude helped you design it. These are my 2 cents, or maybe it's already a $20 that I gave here. But good luck.
Much more than $20. Yeah, thanks a lot for this. It's really wise words, and it's good alpha. And I think, yeah, you said it. Like raising with VC, it's complicated. There are many projects. It's hard to choose. And then if you want to raise from community, it's great because you want to be able to give community, or you may be willing to give the community the best access. But then you are kind of confronted to a different kind of issue because you need to educate your community. And depending on how you want to raise, whether it's token sale or not sale, you need to make sure that you are able to create something that is transparent enough for the community to understand. Because like, I think maybe we've seen that with previous node sale, like it's hard for people to exactly or to always know in what they are jumping in, basically. And I think, Jake, we can give it back to you. Can you tell us a bit more about your node sale? What are the mechanics of it? I read that it's you call it the AI alignment node cell. Can you explain us why this name and why this is important?
Absolutely. So, what is the 0G AI alignment node sale? Why is it important, right? So this alignment node sale, it's a critical step in decentralizing this AI infrastructure created especially for the community, and these nodes play that key role in ensuring that AI systems on our network are secure and behave transparently and honestly, making AI more accountable with the help of our node holders. Who can participate? The sale is open to community members in eligible regions who meet the necessary criteria. And of course, we encourage participants to check the eligibility requirements and disclaimers on our website, node.0g/AI, and just ensure you qualify. And right now, participants can earn a whitelist spot by staying active in the community, engaging in our campaigns, or participating in partnership events. And of course, those full details on our whitelist opportunities can be found on our site. But, when it comes to building a strong ecosystem, we're committed to fostering a robust ecosystem by supporting open source projects, incentivizing developers through grants, and collaborating with, innovators across industries. And, the fact that we have this opportunity to turn the spotlight back on the ecosystem and say, hey, great, we've raised some money. We've got a very long runway. We're very frugal with our money. We want to allow you guys to get involved, right? To take a bet on democratizing AI and making it a public good with our team to earn rewards long term, I think is a pretty compelling argument. And, maybe just to lightly touch on the rewards for operating a zero-G alignment node. We're looking at, node operators may be rewarded in zero-G token emissions, which vest over a 36-month period, up to 15% of the total zero-G ecosystem supply. And that's allocated to reward node operators for their participation. And hey, what's the long-term benefit? By securing a node, participants may not only earn rewards, but also contribute to the long-term decentralization of AI, ensuring the network security and growth. And being part of the early node sale means helping to shape the future of decentralized AI. So we think that's, just a really strong narrative that's better together. And it's not just us with a great tokenomics that, has the ability to make a lot of revenue as the connective tissue, but we want to make sure that that is completely felt and heard and experienced through the community. Because again, without the community, none of us are amount to too much, right? So we want to make sure that we're putting that first and really building a flywheel, so that eventually this technology can operate just powered entirely by the community. Yes, we've got great developers and engineers that can ship very quickly, but we really want to, build this machine that can run by itself, and that will be powered and rewarded too by the community.
This looks great. Can you remind us exactly about the planning of this schedule? When is it going to start, and what can we do to be ready for it?
Well, I appreciate you teeing us up there. So to be a part of the future of this, decentralized, democratized AI, we will have the whitelist sale launch November 11th at 12 p.m. UTC. And then we're going to have the public sale launch on November 13th at 12 p.m. UTC. So in the meantime, if you guys were to visit zerogfoundation.ai, there will be a button in the middle of the page along with a large FAQ, a great video from our CEO, Michael, explaining a little bit more about the node sale, with the ability to apply for the whitelist. So we do encourage you guys to, of course, read all the FAQs and disclaimers about eligibility, but definitely hop on that to apply for the whitelist in order to, secure your spot. And then we'll be having that public sale launch on November 13th. So definitely stay tuned, follow our socials to, have those announcements come through, hit that reminder button. And if any of you guys are going to be at DevCon, we're going to have a awesome presence there. Something every night, I believe, that's going to be very focused on bringing the community together and talking about the new and exciting use cases that have been, kind of in their proof of concept integration stage over the past couple of months with our partners and kind of ecosystem at large. So node sale has been, tremendous. We've had so much interest in it. Definitely have a little time to get involved here. And then, of course, stay tuned on a lot of these great partnership announcements regarding integrations, new use cases, how people are using zero-G to build, the next generation of impactful applications that relate to AI. And we're going to have, announcements on a weekly basis there on our Twitter, and on our Discord, Telegram, etc. So definitely check that out. And of course, if you guys have any questions, my DMs are always open, and would love to speak with you all on a personal level about how I can help you in this space and what you're doing.
Thank you for that. I think it's really great. And just to be mindful of the time, we can take maybe one last question to end up on a very chill note. What is Jake, what excites you the most about the future of zero gravity? And yeah, like, is there any kind of alpha you can give us to today so we can get excited for the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, appreciate that. So, of course, excited to travel to Bangkok. We're going to be there from the 11th to 14th in November. We're going to highlight the transformative power in AI and Web3, offer a bunch of networking opportunities with key figures in the space. And then, of course, I'm very excited to see the zero-G ecosystem grow and evolve into the first truly decentralized AI infrastructure. Our vision of making AI accessible, transparent, secure, and accountable to the public is coming to life, and we are thrilled to have the community play a key role in this journey. So, really excited to meet all of you, or a lot of you in person. But yeah, I'm definitely excited about the way that we're taking this. And I tip my cap to all those builders out there and the thought leaders and pioneers that are making our dreams come to reality. So thank you all for tuning in from my side, and look forward to staying in touch over the coming weeks and months as we continue to ship and have great news around a lot of these initiatives that we discussed today.
100%. Thank you a lot, Jake and Tomer, for jumping in with us tonight. I had a great time. I think we can end it there tonight. Wish you everyone a very good evening, and for sure we will have more news about this great project that is Zero Gravity very soon. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Zero GN.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you.